Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to week 6 and welcome to phase 2 of our design development stage. Phase 3, as it were. So what's going on here, guys? What are we doing? All right, well, we looked at, last week, we looked at some of the development. And I think that, look, guys, I want to tell you something, all right? See this critique right here? I'm going to open that guy up and I want to show you something. For those of you who aren't going through this, whoops, didn't want to do that. I know a lot of students are going through this, but boy, this is just such a great asset for you guys because let's see, let's take a look at. And every week we've got these critique boards, and in every one of these critique boards we get these really great responses from students, and we got this wonderful dialogue going on. And I always give videos, and you guys know that. So if you're not going through these, you should be. This is an asset you should be using because you're seeing, your classmates' work. You'll get ideas from that. You'll get ideas from my comments. There's no doubt that my comments to your classmates are going to pertain to your work as well. So that's important. So, and this week is no exception, or last week, week 5. So go through these videos and you'll get a lot of ideas. I think we got some really good stuff going on. One of the things I was concentrating on in week 5 is fifth element. What is fifth element and how are we doing it? Okay. And you know what? You guys are probably so sick of this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Once again, I want to go ahead and take a look at the Vancouver. Okay. So the logo, we see the logo, and the logo is not the main element. The fifth element is kind of the main visual focal point of the entire graphics package for 2010 Vancouver Olympics, which you've heard me say this, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it forever. This is the finest graphics package ever developed for any Olympics. It's absolutely gorgeous, and we see these fifth element design, continuous design motifs, and we see it over and over, and that creates the fifth element. Okay, so we have here. We have it here in the backgrounds, and then we also have the background, the patterns and the little illustrations that fall within the various colors. And the various colors all revolve around this kind of swirling winds and these swirling kind of design motifs that indicate the weather and the wind and the cold. And it's just, you've heard me say it, it's a wonderful package. Right here, we don't even see the logo here. Okay, why am I saying this? Because I want you guys to really, really think about the fifth element and how it applies to your work and how you're going to apply it to this particular presentation. Now, in every student portfolio, you're going to expect it to have this conceptual work, all right? Meaning that in an undergrad design program, you have a lot of different examples of work. And in a graduate portfolio, all of the work is going to be conceptual, meaning that you've got this open door to talk about your work. All right, that's what this is in an undergrad level. So we're not just taking our logo and placing it on things. We're developing a system. Okay, and for those of you who I've commented during week 5 is that, let's start working this towards a system, a fifth element, as it were, instead of just, placing our logo on a building and placing our logo on the side of a building with a color. And placing our logo on banners with the color, and placing our logo on purses and sweatshirts and shirts and hats, blah blah blah, right? So we're really looking for a system, a graphics system. And the reason this is so, I guess you guys have seen enough of that. I mean, I've been showing that for weeks now, but I think the reason this is so important is because you're going to have a chance to talk about this in your student portfolio when it comes time to be a portfolio, you're sitting in front of a portfolio reviewer or a hiring professional, where they're going to look at this work and say, all right, tell me about it. Okay, I can see that you're not just placing your logo on different things. I can see you've got an idea, a concept driven project here. So I want you to talk about it. And this is what's so important about this project is that it's going to give you this segue to talk about your own work where you can really sell it to the portfolio reviewer or the hiring professional. That's why I think it's so important to develop a graphic system as opposed to just applying your logo to different things, different collateral pieces. Okay. And now we've done that before. And a lot of classes, that's what we concentrate on in undergrad is we concentrate on developing a logo and showing it in its different various uses. And we're asking you to think a little bit differently here. We're asking you to take your logo and to develop a system, a backbone, so to speak, a system of supporting graphics, as it were. Okay. So that is what I think is so important about this week and about understanding where to go. All right. So in week 7 and week 8, we're going to go straight to presentation. So that's where we're starting to put everything together. So this week in week 6, this is where you really want to start applying your logo to different areas, really get that 5th element going, the background patterns, the elements that are supporting graphics of the logo and the graphics package itself. Okay. Really important that you really, let's just put that pedal to the ground here and let's get moving on week 6, because like I said, in 7 and 8 we're moving straight to presentation. So we'll concentrate on this is it for me. After week 6 I'll be done talking about, because it's in week 7 and 8 I'm going to be talking about your typography, your layout, your compositions, etc. into your final presentation. So right now, I'm asking you guys to really think about getting this together, and don't forget those examples. If you go over to the announcements area and we go, let me move that out of the way. We go to the announcements area, and I just want to draw your attention back when we go back to, and it's back here, it's back in, it's a couple weeks old, and so I think a couple of you have forgotten about this, but where are we? I didn't remember I posted this. Okay, where was it? Welcome to week 1, examples. Oh, here, examples of final project for the class. And there's that Stockholm, Sweden. Let's just open that guy up. And, you remember this. And I use this because I think this was some of the best work I've seen in this while teaching this class. And I teach this class a lot. This is the final presentation, but I want you to draw your attention to all of this, and placement and 5th element, and really developing this system instead of just saying, okay, bam, there's my logo on that. Bam, there's my logo on that. No, we've got the horizontal logos. We've got some vertical logos development. We got the tickets. We got the programs with the patterns in the background. We've got the logo. There again, there's a horizontal logo, different variations of the logo, different placements of the logo, different scales of the logo using accordingly in different areas. I want to show you one more that I also thought was a really great presentation. Let me find that. I'll post this one. I'll post a link to this one. Hang on one second. Let me find that. This was the Reykjavik. Yeah, and I found it. And, again, here's the presentation. This is a final presentation. Okay, so just, learn from this. And then we can start seeing the the development. Right here, where starting to place a lot of the design development phase 3 in different areas, showing how the viewer will experience the games and how remembering the games. So you're not just placing your logo on things, you're actually presenting this whole system of graphics that help support the memory of the games to all of the visitors and spectators, etc. Okay, so again, it's just really important. I know I'm harping on this, but it's just so important for you not to just start placing your logo on things, but to develop this entire system. Okay, and that's what I have for this week, guys. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I know that you guys have heard me say that enough. And I don't want to harp on it too much, but I do really want to drive that home. Okay, so we'll be looking for that. And again, next week, this is it. Next week, we'll go into presentation where I'll start talking about, typography, color, composition, etc. All right, guys, any questions, comments, concerns, or clarifications, please let me know. I'll be glad to do it. All right, I'll see you guys in class this week. Thank you.